Hey, folks, we are live. I apologize about the late start here. We had actually, well, it's a late start. Had a little bit of technical difficulties, so I hope you guys can hear me. Let me know in the chat if you're having any problem hearing me because I have a completely new, well, not completely new. I've got somewhat of a new setup today. I've got. I'm going to click here on my live stream just to check you guys out here. Let me mute this. Oh, good. I know you can hear me. I just did a little check of my live stream. So, hey there, everybody. Thanks for being here. This is our usual Sunday. I've been doing Sunday live streams for a while, so I'm sure I'm going to see a lot of familiar faces there in the chat. We've been doing our Facebook, not our Facebook, our YouTube live every Sunday at 5. So we're a little early today. But what we're going to be doing is, let me show you guys. Can you see back here my schedule for my live stream band classes this week? Okay, so I don't know if some of you might be new. Maybe your band directors told you that we have our live stream classes. So today is our usual Sunday live stream where I just kind of I do Q&A. I answer as many questions as I can, sort of like an Ask Me Anything sort of deal. And I also take requests. I can't always play all of my requests. So let me show you one fun thing here I have with my new live stream setup. You guys ready for this? Check this out. So I now have, not only am I able to stream at you in HD now, which I'm very excited about, and hopefully we won't have any lagging or latency because I kind of upgraded my live stream setup. So I got this cool, you can't see it, it's right here. I don't know, I don't want to mess it up, so I'm not going to move it. I got this cool webcasting box. So anyway, I can come at you in HD and I can come at you with a nice microphone. And another thing that's kind of cool is I got this cool thing where I can switch you over to look at my laptop. So check that out. So now you guys are looking at the schedule. Oh, I think I can put myself picture in picture here. Can I do that? Yay, look at that. All right, so now you guys are seeing the schedule that we're going to have starting today, really. Starting tomorrow, we have our new classes. We have a beginner band class on Mondays. So that means beginner band is like if you have been playing for, I'd say, less than 2 years. Maybe if you started this year or if you started last year, you might want to check out the beginner band class. And then that's going to be 3 p.m. Eastern time here where I'm at in the Philadelphia area. And then if you want to tune in on Wednesdays, we're going to have what's called Advanced Band, okay? And Advanced Band is basically, I'm going to try to make that a range of challenges for someone who's been playing for, let's say, 3 years through high school. If you've been playing for 3 or more years, I'm going to give you some nice challenges in our Advanced Band class on Wednesdays. All right, so that's another cool thing. And now, I see a lot of questions coming in, guys. Thank you so much. I'm going to try to get to as many questions as I can. And then on Fridays, we're going to have a jazz class. So I'm actually going to be able to, the next step in my live stream setup, guys, is I'm going to have actually able to hook in separate sound from my computer into the live stream so we can do some jazz. We can play along with some background tracks. So that's going to be a lot of fun. I'm going to teach you how to do jazz improvisation, and we're going to have resources that you can download on all the instruments. All right, and then of course, Sundays is what we're doing right now, my usual show. We're doing Ask Me Anything, and we're doing requests, okay? So I'm going to take a look over here. I'm going to switch back to our full view here, and I want to see who we have. We have a lot of folks in the chat, a lot of familiar faces. Let me go back here, and let's see. one of our questions here. Francesco is here. Ciao, Francesco. Hello to Mike is here. Lath is here. President Spider Dragon says, my mom is from Philadelphia. That's cool. And Mike says, yeah, my image is really small. So Mike, I assume you mean when I was I had the little box of myself in the corner. That was when my image was really small. So I'll just do that sometimes. Okay. Let's go into some questions. Gianco Proenza is asking, can I help you with Pink Panther on the flute? Now, I can play the Pink Panther on the flute, and I can give you some tips, okay? I think I have a Pink Panther video on my channel. Let me play some of it for you, okay? I'm going to start this song. We're going to play it in, let's do it in D minor. I think that's the original key. So I'm going to start with C sharp D. So it would take me a while to explain that whole song to you, but let me give you some tips. We're doing it in D minor, so it starts on C sharp, which is the leading tone into D minor. Da-dum. And what it does is it uses the D natural minor scale. So the notes in this song are D, E, F, G, A, B flat. So it goes B flat, A. And that note there is an A flat. So this song is in D minor, but it also has a little blues in it. So blues are what you hear in the blues, that flat 5, the A flat. One thing that people ask me all the time is about vibrato on the flute and growling. You guys know when you growl on your instrument, you kind of give it a little zzz sound. So I do that with my flute. I kind of hum with my voice box while I'm playing on this note. You can really kind of hear it with my throat. The other thing people do on flute is they do this thing called Flutter Tongue. So Flutter Tongue, I haven't really practiced it that much on flute. You go, it's like you're doing the rolled R, like some languages, like Spanish and Italian, they roll their R's. So if you can practice your rolling your R's, people that are watching who are a little bit older remember the old Ruffles potato chips commercial. Ruffles, right? Ruffles have ridges. So if you can get that sound, you're blowing the air and you're getting your tongue to flutter. Let me see if I can do it on the flute. Right? So I'm going, but I'm not using my voice. Cool. Flutter Tongue. All right. So we're going to go back to the chat. Okay. We have some of my helpers in the chat room. Thank you. Our friend Dennis, unfortunately, I threw my helpers for a loop today because I had my times a little messed up. So I didn't prepare my helpers with enough notice to be ready for our earlier time. So I apologize for that. So Dennis may be joining us at some point. So let's see. Let's get some questions here. Jiro Shirogane is asking, how can I improve my tone? So Jiro, I want you to tell me what instrument you're talking about, what instrument you play specifically, but the best way to get better at your tone, everybody, is, and if you guys have been watching my stream, you know the answer. The best way to get better at tone is long tones. Say it with me. Long tones. So what are long tones? Long tones means no matter what instrument you play, particularly wind instruments, instrument you blow into. All right, someone was asking me for trombone. So let me grab my trombone. It's back here. Okay. So, long tones are pretty much the same no matter what instrument you play. Okay? And let's see if our friend checked in here telling us what instrument that they play. I don't see an answer yet, but the long tone, okay? You guys, so long tone is basically take a deep breath, hold the note steady for as long as you can while maintaining a steady tone. So I'm going to choose, I'm going to push this microphone back so I don't blow you out here. I'm just going to choose a note, I'll choose F. Okay, and take a deep breath. So job number one when you're playing a long tone is, number one, can you hold the note steady or is it wobbling? If you're doing a long tone and it's wobbling, oh, here's a long tone that's wobbling. That means you're not keeping your air steady and you're not keeping your embouchure, your band face steady. So that's job number one. Keep the note steady as possible, all right? Then part two is when you're listening to your sound, think about, is my note sounding fuzzy? Is my note sounding kind of crackly? Is it sounding spitty? You want to try to make small adjustments to your embouchure to try to get rid of any crackliness, fuzziness, spittiness, and just get the pure sound. So I'll try to give you an example of a fuzzy sound. Right, that's not so clear. I'm going to recheck my band face. M. Smooth buzz. So there's much more I could say about long tones, but there's an introduction. And in fact, tomorrow, both at our beginner band class tomorrow and our advanced band class on Wednesday, we're going to have some long tone exercises that we're going to play along with the background track, which is going to be fun, right? Playing long tones and just thinking about our sound and getting the best sound possible. Okay, and we'll have some free downloads for that in the description. Okay. Oh, Gianco is saying flute. So, thank you. So my answer I just gave on long tones is the same for every instrument, including flute. Steady note, adjust your embouchure until the sound is as good as you can get it. Okay. Yeah, I said thank you guys for jumping in. I appreciate you helping us with when I ask a question, and some of you guys were jumping in the chat to tell me. Thank you. LPS Gamer Love, a friendly face here on the channel. Can I do Spongebob Squarepants theme on the clarinet? Yes, I can. Here we go. I'm going to take a request. Okay, so my reed is not really ready to go. So when you're playing your instrument on a reed instrument and your sound is kind of fuzzy and not good, make sure your reed is wet. This is what I do. Sometimes people look at me funny, but you got to get that reed wet or it won't work correctly. Okay, fuzzy sound, make sure your reed is wet. Make sure your reed is on straight, perfectly straight. Look at that. Can you guys see that? All right. Spongebob. Let's do it we'll do it in C major. There we go. So thank you for that request. Okay. All right. Some more questions. Oh, Kimation Production says, don't swallow your reed on accident. Yes, I will try not to swallow my reed. You do have to be careful. Okay. More questions. You know what I'm going to do, guys? I am going to do... Oh, Dennis is here. Yeah. Dennis, I'm going to give you a call, and so you can join in and give us a shout out if you're available. So I'm going to give Dennis a call. If you're ready, Dennis. Okay. Let's give Dennis a call. Let's see if Dennis is available. Live TV. Hello, Dennis. Are you with us?
Yeah.
Sorry about that.
Joe called me.
Okay. Hey, so you are live. I apologize that we had a little mix up with our times today. That's my fault.
Not a problem.
Thank you. So hey, everyone, say hi to Dennis in the chat, okay? And Dennis.
Hey, how you doing, everybody?
All right. Dennis says hello.
All right.
Okay.
Let me
Woo.
see if I can find some questions for you.
All right. I'm also going through here with our questions. So if you're new to our live stream, our friend Dennis is here, and just make sure you mute your computer there, Dennis, if you would.
Yes.
Our friend Dennis is here helping us out. He kind of goes through your questions and highlights some questions in the chat, and also when I'm looking for a new question to jump to, he'll give me a shout out, give me a question. Here's what I want to do while Dennis is getting settled and we're figuring all that out. I want to do question of the week, and I want you guys to in the chat. I want you to type in the chat what song have you been practicing this week, okay? Or what piece have you been practicing? And I will give you a shout out. I'll start calling out your answers in the chat. So why don't you go ahead and tell me what song have you been practicing this week, and maybe what instrument, okay? So we're going to be looking for Ariel, the designer, plays violin. Looking for, I know there's a little bit of a delay. There's about a 30-second delay from when you guys hear me. So I'm still waiting for some of our chat to come through. All right. Psychic Mage God is practicing Hungarian Serenade. I actually don't know that piece. That sounds pretty cool. I'll have to Google that one. I Play Saxophone 226 is practicing Moana, How Far I'll Go. Ramit Singh is practicing Dance Monkey. Gavin Tapp is practicing the Rosé Étude No. 2 on Alto Sax. My friend, I'm sorry, I should learn how to pronounce your name, is practicing the Entertainer on Alto Sax. Mrs. O'Brien is on the live stream. Teresa O'Brien is a music teacher friend of mine. And so, guys, I'm going to update this for you guys. Our live stream on Sunday. Now, I'm looking at my post here, and it looks like, we're gonna stick with 3 p.m. on Sundays, because looking at my post, I did put out 3 p.m. I did put out 3 p.m. Sundays, and I don't want to change that. So let's just leave it there. That way it's the same every time I come on, just so it's consistent, okay? So Sundays, every live stream will be 3 p.m. Eastern Time. All right, some more things people have been practicing. Funfetti has been practicing Fight Song. Francesco is practicing Blue Bossa on Alto Sax. You know what, Francesco? We might do Blue Bossa at my jazz live stream on Friday, okay? That's a cool song. Khalid is doing Scared to Be Alone. Oh, he's asking for a tutorial. Okay. I'll put that on my list. Creative Lifestyle is practicing Calypso. Oh boy, a lot of these coming through. Calypso Morning on the flute. Nicholas Zakic is practicing Godfather. What else? President Spider Dragon is telling me something about viola and piano. Cool. All right, great. So what we're going to do is we're going to get to another question. And you know what? Someone I saw earlier in the chat, someone requested how to do a bend on the alto sax. So let's do that. All right, so a bend on the alto sax, what we do is you have to practice any bend on any instrument, any wind instrument, pretty much involves pulling your embouchure a little bit apart like you're opening your bottom jaw, your jaw a little bit down, and then back up into place. That bends the pitch down and back up. So on saxophone, what it feels like for me, it feels like you're grabbing the reed from the sides. Oh, my reed's not wet. I didn't follow my own rule. Okay, I'm going to wet my reed. So you grab the reed from the sides, and it's like you're using the sides of your lips to pull the reed down away from the mouthpiece. Okay? So I'm going to show you what that sounds like as soon as I'm set here. So I'm going do, and you can do that to bend a note. What you do is you go to the note, and as soon as you go to the note, your bend is in the down position, and you bring it up like. Right? That sounds kind of. It's because I'm starting in the pulling it down and bringing it back into pitch. But the way you practice that is you pick one steady note, and you just try to wobble it down and back up. I'm pulling down, back up. So there you go. There's a quick lesson on that. So now, Dennis, is there a question you've either highlighted or would like to bring to my attention?
Yeah, I haven't been writing it down. First thing is David Wortman, who apparently is a teacher.
Uh-huh.
He wants you to talk more about the upcoming classes for beginners, because he wants to recommend them to his students. And that might not be a bad idea to spread with everybody. So if somebody, some of the people coming all the time know somebody who's a beginner, knows somebody who's intermediate, they can come and participate during the week.
Okay. Actually, that's a great question. Do you remember the name of that teacher again?
David Wortman.
David Wharton?
Wortman.
Wortman. Okay. So, David, thank you for being here on the live stream. So, I talked about this at the beginning of the live stream, but of course, people are joining us all the time. So, I'm happy to say this a few times. Our schedule is right here behind me. You can see the beginner band class. Okay, so this Sunday class we're doing right now is our normal. We've been doing it for a while, where it's ask me all kinds of band questions, music questions, and make requests, and I play as much as I can. Mondays, our beginner band class is going to be aimed at students or people who have been playing for about 1 to 2 years. So if you started this year or started last year, that would be appropriate for beginner band class. So we'll be doing warm-ups. We'll be doing some of our fun songs from my beginner band tunes packet, which will be a free download in the description. We'll be doing some basic long tones, and we'll actually be doing a beginner band piece or two, where we'll have downloads where everyone can download their part, and we'll practice together with a play-along track. Okay, so that's our beginner band class. Then on Wednesdays is advanced band. It's going to be kind of the same thing, except advanced band class will be aimed at students who have been playing for I'd say 2 to 3 years. Like if you've been playing for 2 years and you feel pretty on the ball, like you've gotten pretty good, then you could join our advanced band class too. But anyone from someone at that level through even high school, I think we're going to have some stuff that's useful for people who've been playing for several years. We'll do some warm-ups, we'll do some scales, we'll talk about arpeggios, we'll do all kinds of things like that. And we'll do a band arrangement. On Fridays is jazz day, and we're going to do all kinds of jazz stuff, jazz improv, lots of fun stuff. So that's how our show is going to go. Our shows are going to go for the week. Let's do some questions here.
Okay.
And I'm looking through, but Dennis, if you've got one at hand.
I do. I have one right here. This is from Jiro Shirugani. High notes on the... this is from, Syntax Blage. Clarinet. How do I control my breathing when playing the clarinet? She says she runs out of breath. They run out of breath when he or she, I'm not sure, play.
Okay, So running out of breath on any instrument, on any wind instrument. Okay, so a few things. Number one, make sure that your reed is on straight and it's on properly. Because if your reed is either not on straight or if your reed is too low or too high, the reed should be perfectly even with the tip of the mouthpiece, like perfectly even. If it's too low or too high, you won't be using your air efficiently and you'll run out of air sooner. Or if your reed is not so good, you'll have trouble producing sound, and that will affect your ability to hold a long note. Woo! Excuse me. The next answer to get better at long notes is, or not running out of breath, is of course long tones, which I talked about earlier in the live stream. Take a deep breath, practice holding a note for as long and steady as you can, and challenge yourself. How long can you hold a note steady, right? You can get to 15 seconds, 20 seconds, 25 seconds, 30 seconds. I can probably hold a steady note for about 50 seconds to a minute if I take a nice breath. So those are two ways to make sure you'll be not running out of breath, okay? Thank you, folks. Kimation Productions. 2 questions. How many instruments can I play well? Can I please play an F note on the flute because mine is broken, so your F comes out as a wheezing sound? Okay, sure. So, first of all, the instruments that I play well, I would say saxophone, clarinet, flute, all the saxophones. Trumpet, I'm not bad at. I can play trumpet, pretty at like a 3 to 4 year player level. Really to get good at trumpet, you have to practice every day to develop your trumpet muscles. So that's my level of trumpet. Piano, I play pretty well. Guitar, I know a little bit of guitar. Drums, I really love to play drums. So there you go. There's some instruments for you. Okay, F on the flute is thumb, 1, 2, 3, first finger, pinky. So thumb, 1, 2, 3, first finger, pinky. This is the same for low F and the high octave. And then for the double high octave, you pick up your second finger, and you've got thumb, 1, 3, 1, and you've got this, the really high F. So there we go. Okay. Dennis.
Yes.
Another question.
Yeah. Okay. This comes from Zaid Nazif. When I play high notes on the clarinet, do I press down both back keys or just one?
When you're playing high notes on the clarinet. Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay, so the high register on the clarinet, you do need to have your thumb covering the F key here, the F hole, and the tip of your thumb presses down the register key. So both is the answer. This and this for all of your upper register notes. That was a quick one. Okay. Coming through the chat here. Mike Hamilton, is there something I was doing wrong when I managed to do a growl without meaning to do or trying to do it? So what could cause a growl if you weren't meaning to do it? Maybe if your embouchure isn't quite set right, or maybe if you have too much mouthpiece in your mouth, the note can start to break up a little bit, and it might sound like a growl. That might be the reason of what happened. Unless if you're sure you weren't humming or growling, then the only other reason you'd get a growl sound is if there's something with your embouchure wasn't set quite right, and that makes the sound kind of get broken up a little bit. So there's the answer on that one. Okay, here's a nice, interesting one from Yaz. How do you play "See You Again" by Wiz Khalifa without going over the break on the clarinet? Okay, so I have one of my popular videos. I was just looking at some of my videos the other day, and this one actually has almost 900,000 views, which is kind of cool. Is how to play "See You Again" on clarinet, and I think I did it in the key of C major on clarinet. So the question from Yaz is it possible to play See You Again on the clarinet without going over the break? And the way to do that is I would suggest taking the whole song into a lower key. So I would do it in the key of G, probably. Wait. Oh, you still have to go over the break there for the B natural. So let's do it in F major. Okay, you're going to start on a low F. Ready? I'll show you the fingers. So there you go. If you do it in low F major, you can get the whole song without going over the break. That's low F. All right? Cool. Another interesting question here. Oh, so Teresa is highlighting a question from our friend who I'm sorry, I can't pronounce your name. I should have someone who can read that language explain to me how to pronounce it. Okay, I have another question. How to do the flip on alto sax? Okay, a flip is not when you jump up in the air and spin backwards while you play. That's kind of a risky move there. A flip on the instrument is when you take the note that's written and you go up above one step, back down to the note, like this. So in jazz, you might see something like G, E, and the G will have a flip on it. So it'll sound like this. Right? So I went G, A, G, E. So it was G, E, with a flip written on the G. So I go G, A, G, E. So basically go one note higher, back to the note you started on, and then continue on. All right. Dennis, can you highlight a question for us?
Yeah. It has to do with the growl thing. Do you have, Austin Reed says, do you have any way of warming up tips to learn how to growl on the alto sax? Do you have any warm-ups that you can do for that?
Warm-ups to learn how to growl. How would I do it? Oh, you know what? You could do something as simple as, was this a sax question again?
Yes.
So you would do, I'd recommend maybe a G scale where you play a whole note normal G and then a whole note while you're humming on the G, like this. Like that. Then you try it on A. Normal. Hum. And you could continue up a whole scale like that. Just getting it's just really a matter of training your embouchure to deal with that and doing the muscle memory of how to do it. So there we go. Got a lot of great questions here. And we're going to wrap up at about in about 10 minutes, you guys, okay? So let's see here.
Yeah, I have a question here.
Yes.
Psychic Mage God wants to know, can you give an explanation of acciaccatura and appoggiatura on flute?
Oh, appoggiatura.
Appoggiatura.
The first.
And acciatura.
Oh, well, I know appoggiatura, so I'm gonna. The other one I'd have to Google, honestly. Appoggiatura is when the note you're holding stays, even though like the chord changes to the next note, you stay on your higher note for a beat longer and then resolve it down by one step. So it's basically appoggiatura is the note stays on the note previously a little bit longer and then resolves down. Now, if there's any music teachers in the chat or anyone who can Google it, I'm not sure what the other flute term that you asked about is. So that's something I would look up. Okay, I hope that helped a little bit. And if you Google it, you'll probably get an answer too. Oh yeah, Mike had a great idea about doing a name that tune. So Mike, does your teacher help you with this, or how do you do this name that tune? So Mike he emailed me. It's a song that you see the notes for the song and you play through it, but there's no title, and it's a recognizable song that you have to try to figure out by playing the song and figure out what it is. Okay. Brianna is asking, can I play tenor sax? Brianna, what would you like me to play on tenor sax? I'll try to play something for you. Havana.
That's what she says. Can you play Havana on the tenor sax?
I can do that. I'm always looking for my neck strap. Where is it? Where did I put it? If I'm really creative, I could do it without a neck strap. All right. So while I'm getting my tenor sax ready, Agus Sutikno asked, Mr. Selfridge, any advice for how not to squeak on clarinet when using the register key? Yes, I have a tutorial on how to play high notes on the clarinet, and I talk about the main reason people squeak on high notes is either they're not getting a good embouchure and tone on the low version of the note, or when they go to do the register key, something moves and their fingers move and the squeak happens. So the way to work on your high notes is to get a really strong low note first. So I got my low G really strong, and then I just tapped the key and I made sure I didn't move anything, and that helped me get the high note without squeaking. All right. All right, I think Havana is in this key. Now you guys might notice when I do my songs for you, sometimes I'm not sure. I have to think about what key I'm going to do it in. So the ability to transpose is a really good skill, right? To take a song and be able to move it into different keys. And the way you get good at that is by understanding things like your scale degrees. So I know that Havana is in minor, and on the minor scale, I know it goes A. It goes 3 5 5 3 3 1 bum 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 bum. So that helps me. I can do it in any key. I'm going to do it in A minor. Oh. Okay, so I made a few mistakes there, but what helps you through those mistakes, if you're playing by ear, is really getting to know how the different notes of the scale sound and really get good at picking up songs and practicing them by ear. Okay. So Mike Hamilton says, I don't understand the what key question. All right. A key is, when someone says what key is that song in, what they're really asking is what note is the final sort of resting tone of the song. Meaning every song has a note that is the foundation or the home base of the song. So in Havana, da 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 da, that note right there, that is the home note of the song or the home base. So that is the first note of the scale. And so we would say, if we choose A for that note, A, we'd say we're in the key of A minor. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, A. And we would play in the appropriate sharps or flats. So A minor actually has no sharps or flats. All right. Heba says, show us your flute. That's an easy one. There it is. So if you have any requests for flute, I can try to do that for you. All right. So let's do another question. Kurt Julius says, I've got to go. See ya, Kurt. Thanks for being here.
All right. You want the question?
Sure.
Okay. This is from Aliasgar Vidawala. Do the cheap trumpets hinder the high notes, especially high C?
Do the cheap trumpets?
Mm-hmm. Does it hinder high notes, especially high C? Okay,
so I think what you're asking is, we've talked about this, how he said use the word cheap, right? Because we've talked about, you can buy instruments online, right? And you have to be careful because you'll go online and you'll Google, how much is a new flute or a new trumpet, and you'll find ads for instruments. They look really great. They're very shiny and they look brand new, and they might come with extra accessories, but the price is so cheap. They'll have a trumpet for like $140. So unless you really can't afford, if that's all you can afford, then that's fine to get you started. But you're probably going to run into some problems with cheaper instruments. And so this person who asked this question said, do cheaper trumpets make you not be able to hit high notes? I would say, actually, that's one thing about a trumpet that probably is not greatly affected by the price of the trumpet. What you're going to more run into with trumpets is you'll run into problems with the valves getting stuck and getting easily bent out of place because of the quality of the materials. But if you've got a brand new trumpet you've bought and it was really cheap and the valves work, you should have no problem really playing high notes, because most of the high notes are happening here, not with how the trumpet is built. Okay? Hope that answered your question. That was a good one. It's an interesting one. All right. Mike Hamilton says...
another interesting one for you.
Okay, go ahead.
All right, this is from our friend whose name is in Cyrillic and we can't pronounce.
Okay.
So we at school have a little band, and there is 2 alto sax, 1 trumpet, and 1 electric bass. What kind of band could we be? What suggestions can you give us for good results?
All right. Can you name those instruments again?
Yes, 2 alto sax, 1 trumpet, and 1 electric bass.
Oh. Well, that would make a nice little jazz group, especially if you could find someone to play drums. That would be a nice little jazz group, because you'd have your bass playing the bass line, and saxes and trumpet would be great at playing some basic jazz arrangements. So it would, probably take some coaching with someone that knows how to teach you how to do jazz. If you watch my jazz live streams, that might help you. Also, with that group, you could do sax, trumpet, and bass. You could do like band arrangements. The bass could play a trombone part. Really, they should play the tuba part, but the tuba part you'd have to transpose it up an octave. So there's some things you could do. Let's see. Brianna Perry, at my school there is 3 flutes and 1 open hold flute. Okay, this is a good question. What is the difference between open hold and a normal flute? So, the difference is, my flute, I don't know if you can see, has holes. They look like little lifesavers. You guys know lifesaver candies or donuts? Right here, and here, and here, and here, and here. So, for a professional flute, for when someone's really at a professional level and they want to get the best sound you can possibly get on the flute, you get a better sound with an open hold flute because it just resonates, it sounds better. But for beginners, they often make beginner flutes where they've plugged up these holes. Either they've made them the key completely solid so there's no hole, or they put little plastic plugs in there. And that's just because beginner flutes with smaller hands are usually, beginner flute players are usually younger, smaller hands, smaller fingers, and it just helps a beginner learn the fingers without constantly having to make a mistake by not covering the hole. So An open hole flute is for someone who's advancing on their regular flute and wants to step up their sound a little bit. Okay, so here's what I want to do, folks. We're going to wrap up our Sunday live stream. I want to remind you, and this is just another excuse for me to use my cool split screen here. Dennis, I don't know if you were on when I did this,
no.
So I'm very excited about this. I have this new gadget where I can. You're not going to see this on your end for about 25 seconds because. But here we go. I'm going to hit. So there we go. And I can put myself in the corner. Look at that. So everyone, I want to show you my schedule for this week. Just to remind you, we've got. First of all, we have Mondays starting tomorrow. We have beginner band at same time as today, 3 p.m. And then Wednesdays, we're going to have advanced band. Fridays, we're going to have jazz. And, of course, Sundays, we're back here with my Ask Me Anything show. So while that graphic is up there, if you take a look at, if you want to follow me on Instagram or Twitter or Facebook or any of those things, I'm at Dr. Selfridge. Okay, we're going to come out of that view right now. Cool. And as we wrap up, everybody, we're going to do one more question for shout outs, okay? So I want to thank everyone who's watching. And just for fun, I want you guys to jump in the chat for a shout out and tell us what instrument you play or what instrument are you the best at, okay? So everyone's going to jump in into the chat and tell us what instrument you play. And we'll do some shout outs just to wrap up today. I play saxophone. 226 says, do I have a Barry sax? I don't have one here at my house. I'm going to try to get one. Yeah, thanks, guys. I do try to get to as many questions, but I know we have, I can't get to all the questions. So what I'm looking for right now, guys, is I'm looking for what instrument you play. I'll give you some shout outs. Ella's Galaxy plays the trumpet, and Creative Lifestyle, there's your shout out. Psychic Mage plays the flute. Ramit, oh, okay. Agus plays clarinet and piano, and Juliana Jackson plays the flute. And I play saxophone, plays Barry sax. And Tornado plays bass clarinet. Hi. Brianna Perry plays tenor sax. Ramit plays alto sax. Juliana, I got Juliana. Dylan Brown plays alto sax and euphonium. Let's see. Mrs. O'Brien plays cowbell. By the way, Mrs. O'Brien, if you want to jump in, Mrs. O'Brien is a friend of mine who's a music teacher who can jump in and answer some questions on the chat next time. Ashley Silva plays clarinet. Let's see. Who else? Creative Lifestyle plays the flute. Kimation Productions plays the flute. And Francesco plays recorder and studies alto and tenor with... right. Says, with poor practice due to low free time. Well, Francesco, keep at it. Just by seeing you on the chat each week, I know you're investing your time and you'll get better. Roger Gisseman plays flute. Eduardo Juarez plays clarinet, bass clarinet, and flute. Kevin Magia plays clarinet. Aliscar plays trumpet and piano. And, of course, Mike Hamilton says, I know your instrument. All right, I'll answer one last question. What brand of flute do I have, Juliana Jackson? I've got a Powell Sonare. It's a Powell Sonare PS601 is the name of my flute. Okay, so everybody, please make sure you check in tomorrow for our beginner band class at 3 p.m. Tell your friends. Tell anyone who might be interested. 3 p.m. Eastern time. So check in on that live stream tomorrow. Dennis, thank you again.
Anytime, Steve.
All right, my friends, and thank you to everyone in the chat, Joe and Terry for helping us out. Thank you all music teachers that were here, and feel free to join in on any of our chats this week. We're going to have lots of stuff to play and talk about. All right. So until next time, guys. Tomorrow, 3 p.m. Have a great day.